Oh, no, no, no. We're not working on the 71C10 today. Here comes your update on what I've gotten accomplished on the 72 Chevelle. All right, first and foremost, I didn't get near as much done as I wanted to. So I got pulled off to do a few other things. We had some issues with some of the cars in the shop that the guys just needed my assistance on. So I got some stuff done though. So let's go over it. So right off the bat, I've got all my AC lines and everything from my cooling system hooked up, routed nice and neatly here, except for the radiator connection part because we don't have a radiator yet. Our injectors finally came in, so those are in the rails, and as you can see, I started running my Terminator harness to everything. We'll get on where the Terminator is going to go after. We have our Sniper EFI coil that I mounted. That's kind of like the neatest and most functional area I could find to mount that. I would love to have hidden it somewhere, but there was no real good option, so that's where it went. This is my Sniper EFI or Hyperspark ignition module. We've got that mounted down there. The wires are going to go up through the fender well like everything else and be nice and hidden. There's going to be minimal wires in this engine bay and hoses and stuff. Hydro Boost. We've got our pressure side of this whole deal plumbed. Comes out of the pump pressure side, goes into the Hydro Boost, comes out of the Hydro Boost, goes into the pressure side of the box. Do not have the return side plumbed yet, and that is because I am waiting for a Y fitting to get here from Summit that I think was supposed to be here today, but I have not seen it, so we'll see. Because what you have to do is you have a return that comes out of your Hydro Boost, you have your return that comes out of your steering box. Those two join together and then go back into your reservoir. This one happens to be the one that's mounted on the pump. I didn't want to go and do that with Hydro Boost without giving this some more capacity, but more importantly, some cooling. So ours is going to come out forward to this steering cooler, power steering cooler, and then out and into that reservoir. Just because you're doing double duty with your hydraulic fluid now, power steering fluid, not only powering the steering, but your Hydro Boost, it's going to get hot. So you should put a cooler on it if you're doing Hydro Boost. As far as that, underneath the engine bay, or underneath the hood in the engine bay, I really haven't got much more done. So let's move to the side. Woo, woo, woo. It's a sports car, and now we have sport mirrors. So this car originally came with the stupid single post, chrome, ugly, base model type mirrors, and we put the sport ones on it. This side has the little dongle, so you can adjust it. The other side is you adjust it with your hand like normal. Still loving our Sanders Street Rod handles here. These things are just awesome. Love these things. So we have door panels now, fully assembled. Everything is together. Believe it or not, these are the factory 1972 door panels. 90, we'll say 90% of this interior is going to be factory. This car had like 25,000 miles or something like that on it. We are using a Studio Hot Rod center console because it's cool. It has some LEDs in it. Most importantly, it has cup holders. The dash, of course, is not original. This is an SS dash. We wanted to use that for multiple reasons. The side sail panels, or whatever the side back trim panels, all factory. Headliner is not going to be factory just because we got a nicer headliner. And we are doing TMI front seats, and we're going to pick up a set of stock seats and have them matched to the TMI fronts. And just so you know, This car was originally bench. We have the bench and the rear seats, and they are immaculate. And so the boss man decided he is going to sell those rather than cut up that back seat to have the rears matched to the TMI, because just get a set of junk seats because they're just going to be torn apart, refoamed, recovered, the whole 9 yards. Why cut up perfectly good seats? Other than that, yeah, that's the interior. But like I said, 90% of it is going to be factory, except for the rug. You know, a rug that old is dirty, so we have a new rug coming on too. One thing about this SS Dash, because of vintage air, as you can see, the glove box hits the vintage air evaporator case, and that is normal. Vintage air gives you a diagram. You need to cut 2 inches off the back of that, and then they give you a cap to cap that off. Totally normal. Not looking forward to doing it, but totally normal. Also have to clearance this support beam because it's resting against the evaporator case, which was an unforeseen circumstance. And then after that, I have to figure out where we're mounting our Terminator X-Max ECU. I don't want to mount it up against the firewall like I did in the GTO. The firewalls in these two cars are slightly different, and just slightly different enough where that's probably not going to be a good option. I mean, it may look like I have a ton of empty room in here, but you have to remember there's going to be a defrost vent here, and this vent is here, and I have to run the convoluted tubing from the vintage air up into both of those, which is going to take a large amount of this area up. I just bumped my head. I may have room to put it somewhere down in here because this is going to be the radio. It's a smaller than factory radio. We're doing retro auto sound, which looks like a factory style radio, but it has Bluetooth and aux in and sub out and all that stuff. This is your control panel for your HVAC, and since we're using vintage air, it's only about that thick. There's no cables. There's just some tiny little wires, and this is going to be your center vent for your HVAC system. So somewhere there may be some room in there. I have to get a little bit more of this together before I can figure that out. I am really good at visualizing stuff like ahead in the future, and I just need to get a couple more key components in there so I can figure out where and how we're going to have room for that. And I'm going to grab, I don't know, see, so here's our studio hot rod center console, and as you can see, it's just about as wide as the Terminator ECU without any connectors and wires connected to it. So I don't think it's going to be a viable option to put it under the console. So I've got to figure out somewhere else to put it. Trunk. So this week I got all of my rear wiring in. Everything is into everything and loomed and neat. And the only light back here that's not wired is my plate light, just because I don't have one yet. We are going to be, before I get to that, so where the battery would be going up here is right here. Normal stock location. But I don't want to put it there because it's just going to be a big ugly battery in the middle of a really nice looking engine bay. So the battery is going to go in the trunk. And it's going to be completely hidden because we are also getting a TMI trunk kit for this, which if you haven't seen them, I believe I have a picture of the one we did in the 69 Chevelle. I'll put it up here somewhere. Beautiful. And it just kind of closes out the entire trunk all the way around here, and you have all this usable room in here, but everything from basically here forward, it walls it off. So our sub is going to go in there, our amp, and our battery. And that's that. And then it'll sound awesome, the audio system anyways. And the battery will be back here hidden. It's a win-win situation. Oh, hey, quick interruption in the video. So I just want to give you guys an update. I am so inundated with work right now, like up to there. So what my plan is is I'd love to bring you along and show you the step-by-step stuff I'm doing, but a lot of this is very tedious, and I have to move quickly, and I have to get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time. So I'm going to do these weekly updates on what I'm working on, because I'm doing a week on the Chevelle, and then a week on the C10, and then alternating back and forth between these two while the other guys work on everything else unless they need my help on something. But we will be getting back to time lapses and tear downs and all that kind of cool stuff. Just right now, I got to get some stuff moving through the shop. So, all right, back to the action. But I have fuel system has all of my wires back here that need to be now, because they all came down through with that harness for the rear lighting. And I have a return line that goes from the tank all the way to the regulator. I just don't have a supply line on there yet, because I am waiting for my fuel filter to get here, because I was ready to start cutting that 8AN line and putting all that in, and I realized, crap, I don't got a fuel filter, and you have to put a fuel filter. Just don't not put a fuel filter. And then I can finish that, because we are now, like as before, already run up to the rail and the crossover and whatnot, and now that the injectors are in, once that supply line is in, this will be a sealed system. I can prime it up, just jump it to power, put some gas in the tank, obviously, and make sure there's no leaks anywhere. So we're getting somewhere. This week, like I said, putting a week on this car, a week on the 71 C10, and just alternating back and forth. So I will be back after the weekend. Happy Easter, everyone, by the way. And we'll be on the 71 C10, so expect to see some progress on that then.